Hey, J-Bone Nation! Shaming of Jay. He's not a dopey dumb bitch. He gets laid. The court jester. The court DJ. It's time to dive into the case. To the case.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, everyone.
Good evening. We were just talking about what a day it has been, and we're gonna keep going. We got crazy stuff going. And what is this? This is our third Creators Who Crush. And when I started this series, when we started it, like obviously we had to have on Steve and Dan, Publicly Buzzed. If you're not following them, subscribe. Put the link in the chat. There's probably gonna be some stories we've told before on our show, on their show, but we're gonna kind of get it all together here to discuss Steve and Dan, Publicly Buzzed. We love them. I still remember how this first started, and I got a DM from Steve, and this is right after we were doing the Zach Latham trial, which is the second trial that I streamed. And he's like, he just reached out to me. He's like, hey man, if you need any editing or any help with that stuff. And babe, do you remember when I told you about this?
Yeah, you showed me the DM and you were like, what should I do? And I was like, well, does he have a channel that we can look at? And so we started looking at some of his stuff and we were like, oh my gosh, this is great. And I was like, tell him yes, tell him yes.
Yeah, Charlotte says Steve slid into my DMs. He sure did. And I feel like it's changed both of our trajectories. We have started something here that I feel like is real special with both of our channels. He made my first video. He edited a video for me. I threw it up. It was awesome. We loved it. And the rest, they say, is history. So without further ado, folks, our beautiful boys, which we will explain now, Steve and Dan from Publicly Buzzed. What's up, fellas?
Well, hello.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being on, guys. And let me explain it just to get right off out of this very similar situation. The four of us were on a stream. I think you guys were on with us, right? I think you guys were on the stream with us. I forget what we were doing. And I know I've told this story before, but there was a gentleman named Ashley who said, who is that lady talking? And I said, oh, that lady, that's my wife, Shannon, and these are my boys. So, and it came off like these are my children when I meant like these are my bros, my boys. And since that moment, we kind of had the joke that like they're.
I think chat even a few people in chat was even like, wait, what? They're their sons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People get confused.
New people were very confused.
And the legend
I've seen people to this day get confused, even like new people. Wait a second, are they related?
The legend has grown so much, in fact, that my mom calls them her grandkids. So on Twitter, and here, that's her. She's looking forward to see her grandkids. So that's why I call them my beautiful boys. But guys, I want to start out by like telling us. I mean, I know we talked about like the first kind of videos you did, kind of in Dan's basement, but or outside of Dan's house, right? So were those the first videos you did on Publicly Buzzed? And just creating the channel, what was that like when you guys decide you want to create this channel? Tell us the thought process. Oh no, is it frozen?
So yeah, it looks like it's froze for me.
Oh,
I think we're back.
I think we're good. We're good?
I think we're back. Hey, I think we're all right. Let's look at the chat. I think we're back. Yeah, we go. Holly Bear, we're back.
Okay, yeah, we're back.
Yeah. I think I got it. The very first thing with the Publicly Buzzed channel was actually, I know I've said this before, but we were planning, it's all in the name. I was like, even coming up with the name, I was like, what am I going to do? Because I'd already had another channel doing wrestling, but I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to do something with Dan. I wanted to do something specifically with my brother that, because Dan likes wrestling, but, he's not a complete nerd about it like I am. So, and I've passed this along to him. I was like, hey, man, what do you think about we both like to drink a little, right? What do you think about catching a buzz and watching public domain movies? And this would get by the YouTube copyright thing. And he loved it. And that's how that was the first stuff. What was the first movie? Damn.
The
Curse of Bigfoot. The Curse of Bigfoot is this horrible, horrible movie, which I did take down. Which
it turned out to actually be a really awesome pick, though. It was a good one to watch.
Dude, it was hilarious. And there's actually some, if anybody does have us on the TikTok, like there's some old TikToks and even maybe old shorts on this channel from that. But that was the first ever thing.
So I'm curious, Dan, when he hits you up and tells you he wants to do this channel, what's your reaction?
I love the idea. I thought it was a great idea. The issue ended up being finding domain movies that we could riff on consistently and make funny videos out of, because we tried a couple more that never aired, that never actually got published, and they just weren't any good. Like the movies were so boring, we couldn't keep up. We couldn't make good jokes, and I don't know, it just didn't work out.
So go ahead, babe. I feel like you have a question.
Well, for the people who haven't been in a lot of your chats or channel, watched your videos, what is the age difference between the two of you? Who's older, who's younger?
It's 1 year, 10 months. Stevie's the older brother.
Yeah. Slightly older. But also still mid-30s. I'm still in my mid-30s.
You're young.
Late
You're
30s.
beautiful boys.
I just had a birthday. I'm still hanging on. 37, baby. That's mid-30s.
And had you ever worked together in any capacity before?
No, I don't think so, right? We've never did anything creative together before the YouTube stuff, and then we've never had like an actual job together now.
Yeah, right. Not like this. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could count maybe being kids and doing stuff like, because I remember when the internet first started, we put together like kind of some, being wrestling fans, like some early websites, we both had like kind of a wrestling thing going, but yeah, like not like this at all. This was like way more in depth with like working. Yeah.
So tell us about how you kind of started transitioning to the true crime channel. How did you go from PubliclyBuzzed, the publicly domain, movies, to where you're at now?
Well, Dan bought this house that he's in right now, which used to be a slaughterhouse, an actual slaughterhouse where they killed cows in his basement. And if the short is still on YouTube and TikTok and probably Facebook too, but basically what I did, I was like, man, I'm going to make this is creepy. Like, this is a crazy story. Like, I'm going to make a video just to put out there. And I will say this, even though we were doing public domain stuff, we did some gaming stuff. But for the shorts, I was always kind of playing around. I never knew where I wanted to go with it. I would almost put anything up. I'd put jokes up. I'd put serious stuff up. And then this was the first ever time I was like, all right, I'm going to try to do like I always say this on my channel, and people are probably tired of hearing it, but an unsolved mysteries type of video, like that type of vibe, which again is true crime with me. And I know it falls all together. So, but I was like, man, we have to make a creepy video of this basement. And he has a tombstone in his yard, in his front freaking yard. Like, what the fuck? Like, who has a tombstone? He just bought this house, and the man he bought the house from and the dude that walks you around the property, they didn't mention this tombstone. Like, that was crazy.
The inspector didn't know about it, and the owner didn't mention it for obvious reasons, I guess. He didn't want to creep anybody out.
Yeah,
I just wonder why it was never moved. I don't know why it's there. I have no idea. We actually found out that the guy that it belongs to was buried about, maybe 10 miles away or something in a nearby graveyard. But why is it in my yard? Was it moved from the graveyard to where it is now?
There?
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's possible to find the story unless we could find his family, or I feel like I should figure out how to return it to his family.
It's still there. Okay. The tombstone's still there. So, yeah, but I was like, yeah, dude, like,
I mean, it's huge and it's heavy. I don't know what to do with it.
That's the thing too. How the fuck people had to have seen this, man. The guy that owned this house for what, a decade?
Yeah.
You never saw this tombstone outside in the yard up against the tree? Come on.
He knew it was there.
And
he just didn't want to say anything about it.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're kind of I think there's actually two shorts. There's one that's specifically about the tombstone, and then there's one specifically about the cow hauntings of this basement where they
I think that the tombstone was first, but we filmed them both on the same day, I believe.
I think so.
And
Yeah, it was
then,
almost back to back. Yeah.
and then we did the basement one because the basement's so it's just huge and dark and musty and
Creepy as
very
fuck.
creepy.
And that video did like 5K views in the shorts. And I was like, hey man, this is doing all right. Like, I'm gonna kind of keep making. I made a bunch of like creepy-esque shorts, which I'd like to go back to making some more of those if I got time. But in the midst of that, jumping into the true crime stuff and literally kind of seeing what's going on, we found the Idaho 4 case, and that's how it really got started.
You also had met a guy at a bar, I believe, that like owned the oldest property in a nearby town or something. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And you had talked to him about maybe filming his property. So we were
That's
kind of
right.
going that direction of like mystery, creepy vibe.
That's right. That's right.
And then the Idaho 4 stuff popped up and it took off from there.
So when you start with the Idaho 4 stuff, are you starting like Steve, where you're like making those videos where you're like doing like a narrative? Well, I know you do that now, and that's kind of, but like, were you going live? Like, what was the first thing you did when you started with the Idaho 4 stuff?
Yeah, the way we got started on that is actually totally got lucky because, I mean, videos don't do well on YouTube. They are hard to get moving. I didn't, so last mid-November is when I made my first Idaho 4 video in the true crime community. And the first time I went live was January 1st when Koberger, when it started, I think he got arrested on December 31st. So when that popped off, the next day I did my first ever live, which went insane because it was just how it was buzzing. But I got lucky. We got lucky. I did a couple of videos. One did 15K views, just a real video, and then one did 70K views.
That's unheard of. That's unheard
which
of. Which
insane, dude. Like it was a 2-minute clip of me, like literally, you know how the true crime community is. It's just like you're kind of finding what to actually talk about. Well, I was just on Twitter and basically some shit was popping off about whatever, and I literally just made a video in real time. It didn't even take. It wasn't even one that I put a lot of work into, which is also frustrating, right? It was one that I did super quick, but for whatever reason, it took off.
Right.
It was at a time when a lot of videos on the Idaho 4 were doing really well.
But dude, that case
it just blew up about January, February-ish, around that area. It was just crazy.
It swept us up too, dude. Like,
and then not long after that, we started, or you started doing lives a little bit, and then I started joining you. Not long after that, even.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because the first lives when they seen the face, because we actually just did voiceovers for the first things. I didn't even put a face to it.
Yeah.
And then, the first live I did, dude, I remember actually doing that first live after he was doing, I was like, because I'm seeing everyone go live doing the story, and I'm like, man, I think I have to try this to get into this. Because I was just making videos and shorts, and I had a lot of shorts that did good too, but in the Idaho stuff, but I was like, fuck, I'm going to go live and try this out, dude. And that first night I went live with the Idaho thing, like 600 people was in the chat room. It was like, I didn't even know what to do. I was like, what's going on right now? And it was like people just, and it was just, you remember how that was. It was just the hottest thing. And that's it. And I was like, shit. I mean, I think that we gained, how that goes too. You just gain a bunch of new people, then you get motivated, and then you actually dive in. And then I'll say this, I know I'm jumping ahead here, probably questions are coming, but I'll say this, from what we did then to meeting you guys, to meeting Bob, to every fucking person, dude, we are like what we are now is like the old self is like a shell. Like, it's crazy how this thing has just been building, man. Like I know there's probably questions coming, but man, it's been insane, honestly.
I just want to say, so if you started, do you have any idea? I pulled up your page. Any idea if you go to your stats, it shows on your about how many total views you've had on your channel? Do you have any clue if this number is correct? And you started in November. What was the first video, would you say?
The first in the true crime would have been mid-November.
So you have any clue? Because I have it right here.
I'm going to say, I don't have a clue. I'm going to say 200,000.
No, dude.
No.
What do you think? Dan, what do you think, Dan?
Well, I have a roundabout number because I check Social Blade.
I don't actually keep up with it
every once in a while, and I don't know, 700,000.
Right now, per YouTube, you have 835,000 views, guys.
Whoa!
I mean, you guys are almost at a fucking million views in a year.
Crazy.
Basically. That's awesome. You guys are crushing the game. That's why you're on Creators Who Crush, because you're crushing it. But I feel like
I actually have a bit. I don't know about any other time, but I'm definitely crushing tonight.
Oh shit!
Son of a bitch!
What the fuck?
I actually don't drink crushed soda, and I bought this soda just for that bit.
And
And you know what's funny is I had to buy an entire 6-pack of these because they don't sell singles at Walmart, or at least in our Walmart.
well, bye, sir. That was that. I'm pulling a Steve. Are you gonna pull that shit on my show? You son of a bitch. But babe, I feel like you have a question.
Oh man.
I just want to know what it's like for you in the planning processes. Like, who do you guys usually have? One person who decides what the content is going to be, or do you just both bounce stuff off of each other? What's it like pre-video or pre-live?
Yeah, a lot of the time it is me that's doing a lot of the legwork with the stories all day long. As you guys know, I mean, I'm in your guys' chat. I'm on Twitter, looking at news stories. So yeah, I do a lot of that stuff. But I will say this: on Phil Fridays, a lot of time I like to, if we have the time, we've been doing a lot of interviews here recently. We got another one tomorrow. But when we are just by ourselves, I really like to get with Dan that day, and both of us kind of collab on that night's show. Because it's usually going to go down, Feral Fridays, you guys know, is a little bit different. We cover, of course, true crime and recent stuff on it, but a lot of times it can kind of go down a different avenue. And I like to get Dan's input on that because that's more of Dan's area, quite frankly. Like, yeah, and but otherwise, like, of course, we know he's never even appeared on Murder Church, the son of a bitch.
Well, I want to get into something real quick here, and so if folks don't know, both Steve and Dan have full-time fucking jobs, so like they're busting their ass during the day and then working all the time. So can you tell the guys, what do you guys do? What are your jobs?
Go
Can
first.
we go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I am a web developer for a local bank.
All right,
So
Steve.
programming, database work, stuff like that, and building web applications.
Yeah, I work for like a company that sells restaurant equipment, and I work in an e-commerce department, which I work online all day, dealing with sales basically.
So yeah, I mean for you guys, how many hours would you say? I mean, essentially, do you have any time where you're not working on the channel, where it's like you have free time you're not working on the channel?
I almost never do. Stevie is the workhorse. Back to the previous question, I used to be, when we first started doing this, I just kind of showed up and gave live reactions to whatever Stevie was,
Hey, let me say this real quick while he's saying that, because before I forget, when I first started bringing Dan in, it was because I wanted an extra voice to talk to, right? You can only do so much by yourself, I feel like. Well, I'd have to also kind of brief him live about some of this stuff because he isn't fully in until he actually got in. But I loved having him on because he gave his absolute live, real reactions. And it pissed people off sometimes and it made people love him, but it was the real, like it was. And I'm going to say this, dude, there's a lot of shitty creators in the Idaho 4 community. And I love the fact that we brought something way more real to the platform, dude. And I will never, like, Dan would even be like, man, I don't know, and I'd be like, no, dude, that's what I fucking want. I want that reaction. I want to know what you really think in real time, because everybody else has already seen the story.
I was pissing
They're going to
people
go on
off.
Twitter. Yeah, they're going to go read about, and they're going to go form an opinion around who they like or this or that. I want your real time reactions, dude. And that's my favorite thing from Dan. Like, I love that, dude.
Yeah, we probably lost half or 3/4 of our old viewers. Because
Think so that many?
No, seriously, like people that used to come every night are no longer there. They never show up anymore. One, we stopped kind of covering Idaho all the time. Like, I mean, it was, if you look at our channel, it was every night was an Idaho.
But Dan had one really insane night though. We watched the grub truck video, and
yeah,
everything really changed that night. I actually truly believe the trajectory of the channel changed that night. Dan got a little bit extra tipsy that night, and I watched the grub truck video from the Idaho 4 case, which is this, a video of the girls. They showed they were getting food before the murders took place. But people online, will break this video down, this 20-minute video down into, I mean, the video we were watching was an hour long of somebody pausing every second and just talking about every movement and what that movement might have meant or might not have meant, or it was insane. And I knew exactly what was going to happen. So Dan goes, he takes a smoke break, and I think I'm even telling people live. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm about to put up the grub truck video for when Dan gets back, and I'm going to start playing that son of a bitch. And dude, I already knew that he was kind of buzzed up, and I was like, he's going to give me the best reactions because You know, I mean, no matter what you say, it's going to be real. Dude, as soon as I started playing it, because here's the thing. No matter what you think about that video, when you have somebody that's just like critiquing every possible second of it, it's a little much. So Dan, as soon as he got to the first pause and the guy was just critiquing a footstep, you know, I'm being funny here, but you know, something silly. Dan was like, "All right, what the fuck are we doing here?" And dude, and I'm talking, we had like 300 or 400 people in the chat, like, and dude, people were going nuts. They're like, no, go back to this. You gotta watch this. Like, it was
all the conspiracy theories, everything floating around that case, man. And it was actually driving me crazy to like a boiling point to where like, and I would explode on.
Dan privately would be like, dude, he's like, this is crazy. And I'd be like, yeah, dude. I'm like, but dude, and again, being real, being fucking real, dude. I think that's what Publicly Buzzed has been about.
Absolutely. Well, why don't you? Well, first of all, you touched on it a little bit. What was talk about the wrestling channel that you did before Publicly Buzzed? Well, tell the folks what that was about.
All right, yeah. So if anybody wants to go and dig through, okay, you know, just like a lot of people, I know a lot of people got real creative during COVID. So in COVID in 2020, I'm stuck at the house all the time. You know, I'd work half days at work. It was a weird situation. You know, I had even extra time. I was like, man, what can I do here? And I've always loved professional wrestling. I was like, I'm going to see what, first of all, I had to figure out something to do that is not going to get copyright struck, right? So my idea was to do color commentary over top of, so do you remember those like, and you can find them all over YouTube, but fans back in the 90s and even the 80s, there's some old ones, used to take, and you could just imagine this. Imagine people today with their phones. They would take freaking full-on camcorders into the arena and film the whole fucking shows. They call them fan cams. So I was like, dude, okay, that can't be copyrighted by anybody. It's just some dude out here filming it, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to do color commentary over fan cam matches, and I called it fan cam commentary. And yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, honestly, the last one I did was in January and only stopped because this started taking off like crazy in January. And I started making a schedule and really committing to this because, you know, hopefully, you know, this is our future here. And, but, you know, I always said if I can ever get everything caught up and I have a little bit more time and I'm, you know, knock on wood, maybe one day I can do this full time. I'm going to bring that son of a bitch back, man, and have some fan cam commentary also. But
didn't you get knocked even though it was fan cam? Didn't somehow YouTube still like find a way to screw you? They
did the same thing they hit you with. It was the reused content. And it was absolute bullshit, dude. And I did the, you know, appealing it, never did work. Yeah. And I, you know, being on YouTube, I did learn that YouTube hates wrestling channels. Like they hate, there's a lot of different channels that YouTube wants to push, you know, for whatever agenda that they have on their side, but wrestling is not one of them, like for entertainment value. I don't know if that's a violence thing that triggers or what, but wrestling is something that gets kind of buried down. So unless that was somebody that was kind of, as you know, where you have some kind of pull, if you're a little bit famous or have something like that, maybe I could have pulled out of it. But yeah, dude, that was very frustrating. Because I mean, again, I'm like, man, if I could do this, it'd be great, right? Like
a lot of the times the wrestling that you were watching was pretty violent. So
there was that's very true. That is a good point.
But still, like he wasn't getting strikes for violence. He was getting for reuse. Like it's
true.
And he's doing commentary over top of it.
Exactly.
Too, so,
and he's doing commentary. It's like,
dude.
You know, I was just talking to Bob about this morning. It's like, they could just take your shit down and they really don't have to give an explanation. They really don't have to. They're not going to follow up with you. I mean, if you guys saw it today, my live is still live right now.
I know.
And I was on Twitter and I'm on 15 messages with their help. And no one knows what they're doing. You can't talk to anyone.
Dude, those messages felt weird. I can't tell if that's a bot or not.
I think it is.
Like, can you send me a screenshot? Can you screen me like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
and the 13th message was like, here, check out this article on how to end a stream. And the article is how to create a stream. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, I'm just going to leave this thing is going to be live for the rest of my life. And I don't even care anymore. I don't even care. But anyway, like YouTube is just so fickle. And that's why I'm glad we're both kind of going on this Kick journey where we're like, because if they can really compete at some point,
I hope so, man.
That would be nice. I'm curious your thoughts on what your guys' thoughts on Kick is.
Yeah, I like Kick, man. Yeah, we had fun last Friday, dude, hanging out, and I think we've talked about this too, Jay. I think they probably will start cracking down on that copyright stuff. But yeah, dude, I hope that something else like Kick can take off. and we can forget about YouTube. Like if you can get, because here's the thing, if like you can get all of your folks, the real diehard people that are truly here for you, all the bows, over to another platform, dude, holy shit, like that's a game changer. And you did, like, you actually got a lot of people to come over there. Like that's amazing.
Well, I mean,
but I like the vibe of it. I like the chat,
right?
Like but it's interesting because it's more like Twitch,
right, for
like
sure.
I don't. So Twitch comes from this website, this old website called Justin.tv. Currently the way Kick is exactly how Justin.tv was in like 2012, 2011, 2013. Dude, it was
It's
the
close,
best
not
site.
quite, but it's close.
Well,
yeah,
the closest thing you could get. But
Yeah.
Basically, because it's not flooded with people just watching Trailer Park Boys or Friends or
Yeah.
Seinfeld yet.
Yeah, JTV used to be like people watching movies and TV shows together, more than gaming.
Way more gaming, way less gaming. You're right. But that was like a decade ago, man, and like I loved the vibe of that. And Twitch came in and they had a bunch of new. They are really strict, apparently. I've never done anything with Twitch, but just reading about this stuff, it seems like they're very, very strict. So hopefully, Kick doesn't go down that path. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Like I don't expect it to be able to do copyrighted content. Like
right.
I'm kind of just taking advantage of that right now. But yeah, dude, I love the vibe of it, man.
Babe, go ahead. I feel like, do you have something or not?
Yeah. Well, and actually, Chris is in our chat tonight.
I saw that. What's up, Chris?
Yeah. And he brought up a question that I have on my list, which is, Dan, I want to know all about your musicianship, as we always see there's a guitar behind you. And Chris is actually wondering, with your long hair and your electric guitar, if you are actually in a Guns N' Roses cover band.
Very specific. No. So I've been playing guitar for, I don't even know now. Oh my God.
20 plus years.
Yeah, I guess it has been over 20 years. I did take a very long break where I didn't pick up a guitar in several years. So like you put it all together, maybe like 15 years of experience playing guitar. But I started really young, and I've been in a couple of bands, mostly a band in high school. It was mostly the same group of guys that we kind of interchanged, maybe a couple of members here and there. I think it was like in total 3 different bands maybe. And then me and Stevie actually had a band together.
What?
When we were in our early 20s, I guess. Yeah, early 20s.
Well, all right. What's the band's name?
Yeah, what was it
Beast
called?
Eater.
Beast Eater. All right. What did you play?
Yeah.
Metal, heavy metal?
It's like doom, sludge, stoner metal, like really slow. I guess, yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
Steve, so are you vocals? What's your position in the band, Steve?
I was a drummer.
Drummer? Steve's a drummer? Wow, look at this. Do we have any video?
We don't have anything. This is a weird thing for me. So
we didn't play very many shows either, really.
Yeah. We were like, it was from like 06 to 07. It was a brief period with one of our other buddies, but I didn't have a cell phone until 2013. Personally, I still hate cell phones, but I fought them until 2013. Dan had one, but even back then, I don't think there was a video capability. So it wasn't just like we could just film, which, God, I wish to God we would have figured out something. That'd be really dope to go back and look at. But we don't even have maybe our buddy Eric has something to listen to, but I don't have shit. Like I don't have anything to.
The only recording we had was on MySpace, and they deleted all that stuff. So
that's right.
You can't access it anymore.
On MySpace. Yeah, we called ourselves Beast Eater, and everything that we did was basically weed references. The name of the songs, like the albums. So we went to the show and we were trying to pass around we also didn't do CDs. We just did cassette tapes in like 2006 and 7. We're passing these out.
That's
so what we
badass.
did was we spray painted them green, to look like weed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in a weed baggie and started passing them out at shows to people.
That's amazing.
You should check out this band.
Clever marketing. Yeah.
That was very clever marketing, and I mean, really punk as well, because that was right when everybody was like, you have to have a CD. No,
yeah, that's true. That's what we were thinking. We're like, man, cool. It could be a little different, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan. You can say
I
something.
was gonna say, I was just gonna say we met some very interesting characters when we were doing that.
Dude, we did
We,
meet some
traveled
crazy
actually. We
people.
played in a couple of different states. So
We were in different
but we
states.
only played
yeah.
maybe a handful of shows total.
Maybe 10, maybe 15 shows. Like maybe not that. Probably 10.
I don't think it was
probably
even
10.
that many. Yeah.
I could probably name them all actually because we played the Hideaway in Johnson City like 2 or 3 times. Played the farm 2 or 3 times. Played Brooks Garden twice. Random stuff like that. The best one ever was actually was a house show. The one in Hayside, and Dude's Garage. Man, that's the one I wish there was footage of because that to me,
that was the
all I have
one.
is a weird hazy stoned ass memory of it. But to me, it was amazing, and I wish I could see it.
Yep.
Well, talking about interesting characters, and we kind of touched on this. I'm curious to know, and I've told the story of like when you reached out to me. I'm curious, what it was like when you guys are like, you start talking. You get the DM from me, Steve, and I have the channel and I have the Twitter. When we start building this kind of thing, like, what was your guys' reaction? What were you guys talking about when, you had your channel, I had my channel, and then we kind of started.
Well, the first thing I told Dan after I met you and started kind of interacting with you was like, yeah, this dude, I've literally always said, I'm like, yeah, Jay's fucking hilarious and he's going to do this. Okay. But I remember telling Dan about you and Dan's like, wait, he quit his job? Like yeah. Yes, he's all in. Like he's going to be doing this. So yeah, man, out the gate meeting you, man. And just like every other person in this chat right now, I'd learned from you.
It's breaking up. Is it breaking up? Is it breaking up for everyone?
I found you on Twitter, dude, from being just funny, from like finding a tweet and being like, "Well, this is great."
YouTube pros too.
Yo, there we go. I think we're back.
Can you say that again, Steve?
I found out about you just like everybody else, dude. Just like you guys got me.
I can hear you. Can is chat frozen again?
You guys got me.
Hold on.
I think we're good.
I can hear you fine, Steve. I think we're back. I think we're back. Go ahead. Yeah. I think you're good. I think we're back.
Yeah, dude. I was just saying, I found out about you just like everybody else, bro, like through fucking Twitter, man, and you being hilarious on there. So yeah, man. And I remember the first thing I remember you when you jumped on YouTube. I think I remember watching maybe a stream or something, but I remember you trying to make a video and you tweeted like it was hard or something. You said something to the effect of like it's harder than it looks. And that's when I said, man, I remember because you just said, you said, Shannon, like, what do you think about this? Before I even sent the message out, I was sitting next to my fiance, Cassie, and I was like, is this too weird to send to this guy? Should I send this? Like, but dude, I mean, my whole thing ever since I've started this is like networking and trying to network any way I can. Like, I really believe we all have to be in this together, dude. And yeah, I was like, I'm going to take a risk here and message this guy. And dude, we're here today, baby. Like,
I think, one thing that I think is special about our group is like you were talking about real people, like how Dan is real and people like, and you're real. And like Chris Duet is in here and he's real. And Raul, like the guests we have on, I think, and not only the guests, but the people in like Buzz Nation, like,
yes, dude.
These are some of the kindest, realest people. They're not in the chat to come in here and just fuck with you. Like you go into some of these other channels and the people are coming in to like fuck with the people in the chat. They're coming in to fuck with the people who are doing the videos. They're coming in to fuck with the guests. And like, I don't know. I just feel like we're building something here together where we're having similar guests and we have the similar people in the chat where it's like, they're here to like corroborate and to work together and to not be assholes, quite frankly.
Yeah,
it's different. It's a lot different.
It is different. And you see that all the time when people come through both of our streams, actually. Like, they'll be like, whoa, they'll literally out loud say, this is different. Like, I wasn't expecting this. Just on Murder Church, we had somebody that came through Sunday and was like, they were literally freaked out because we were so nice.
Yeah, we were talking. I remember that. They're like, wait, why is everyone like talking to me? They were like, they didn't know how to react to everyone just saying, hey. So like that goes to this community. Like when someone new comes in, everyone's like excited. They're like, hey, welcome. You're going to like it here. And like, I don't think that's, I mean, was that like that when you guys started with like I know it was a bigger thing with what was going on with Idaho 4, but like, was that I assume it wasn't the same as far as
no, dude. Like
a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like people weren't like super excited for new people and super like accepting like that, but people were generally pretty nice to each other. But they did get into tips and because I mean, Our thing too
A
back
lot
then
more
was,
squabbles in the chat for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. And our thing back then was, we wouldn't ban anybody as long as they didn't say something like racist
True.
or super hardcore bad about another person. We wouldn't ban you. We'd let anything go, and people loved that. They were
Right.
like, well, every other channel bans you for anything, and they love that we just let things go a little bit. But the chat and the whole vibe of the channel has kind of done a 180. It's changed significantly since like we met you and we're part of this conglomerate group now. Like everything is, it feels a lot different than it did when we were first doing it, and we were mainly covering Idaho stuff.
Right. And I just feel like everyone gets it. You know what I mean? Our mods get it. We get it. The community gets it. What we're trying to do here, and like they want it. Like, so I don't know. I think it's special. And I know Bob's been teasing it, but we're working on something where kind of we have all of us together. So like we're super excited for it, guys. Look out for some exciting things coming.
Keep your eyes out now.
Yeah, keep your eyes out because we're working on something really exciting with a bunch of our friends here. So, Steve, why don't you talk about? You just mentioned Murder Church. Where did that come from? When did you think of that idea? When did you decide you're going to do that?
The name we've talked about this lots of times. The name, I really don't have a clue who actually came up with that name. Mandy won't take credit for it. I thought it was Mandy because she's hilarious. I was like, oh, that had to be Mandy, but I have no clue who actually came up with that name in chat, and no one's ever taken it. So no one's taking credit for it. So, but the actual idea, it came from me basically having, because I was doing Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, which I still basically do. Which is
Aspiring
a lot
court
already.
reporter is taking credit. Is that true?
I thought she did. I
Oh,
really
shit.
thought. Sarah,
Shit.
Did we finally figure it out?
Sarah, I kind of had that idea that it was her. I think it was her.
Oh shit, Sarah. Well, my
There you
bad.
go.
Damn.
There it is.
Damn. All right, we have a
We've been trying
name.
to figure that out.
Damn, what is going on today
Sarah.
with YouTube, man? It's freezing again. Is it freezing again? Dang. Are we completely frozen again?
I don't know if you can hear me. But
He's coming back up.
I don't know what's going
Hear
on
me,
with
Dan?
YouTube today,
Nope.
man. YouTube is really anything. Are we live?
I think I can't tell.
You're good.
Hello.
We're back. I don't know. I saw another stream. MyClad Games Mike was streaming, and his kept going live too. Shannon's completely frozen right now. Hold on. Let me.
Yo, shit.
Oh,
She
yeah.
didn't come back. Damn.
Let me.
It's because we're on
That's the
here.
best
We always
screen
have
grab, though.
Babe-
have technical difficulties on our
Babe, you
channel.
want to
So
call back in? Try again. Sorry, guys.
I'm glad we got a name though for Murder Church. Hell yeah,
yeah.
Sarah, acquiring court reporter. But yeah, basically the way I actually came up with that was thinking, man, I want to. I hadn't really messed with like doing live trials, so I was like, the best time for me would probably be Sunday morning, just having the weekend off. So, and yeah, that's how it definitely started. And the name though was perfect. So because it's got a whole vibe to it now because of kind of the gimmick that Sarah has given us. But yeah, I'm glad that we got a name to that now because Murder Church is awesome, man. Murder Church has its own its own kind of like vibe. I really enjoy doing that stream a lot in the mornings on Sunday. And what are we coming up on week 22? We're about to end the Jeffrey Dahmer trial, and then we're going to figure out something new. But we're not far from that. It'll be by the end of the year. So
why don't you talk about what you're? Hold on, I think Shannon's joining here. Let's get her in here. All right, she's back. What did you do, Dave?
Everything crashed, like every single thing. Like
I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but it's and I'm not on Kick either right now. I don't know what is going on with the interwebs today. But anywho, Steve, why don't you talk about your decision? Where Tuesdays you're doing a little something different now, right?
Yeah, Tuesdays and I just now kind of changed it up again because I want to. Yeah, basically on Tuesdays every other Tuesdays I'm doing a members only thing. I'm picking an unknown story, an unknown killer, something that's not talked about a lot, and kind of covering that story. I was trying to the next week release that kind of an edited version of that live stream, but I'm going to pull back on that a little bit because I did the first one, and I really want to take a little bit more time to, add some more editing to that, like to make it a little bit more, digestible for somebody just kind of coming in on a video. So those are going to slow down on that end of it, but I'm still going to try to pump out the every 2 weeks
Okay.
live version for just members. So, but yeah, that's that. I'm excited about that, and yeah, Twisted Tuesdays, man. Hopefully, people will jump on board and member up for that and stay membered up because, yeah, man, I'm gonna again try to keep that moving forward. But the edited version is going to kind of spill out a little bit later. I'm not even going to put a time frame on it. I feel like that's putting a little bit too much pressure.
Yeah, don't put a time frame on. You're working so hard, man. If you see here, we got Keystone Pirate who puts out some
The
of the
best memes,
the best thumbnails you're ever
They're
going to
the
see, or
best
memes,
stuff.
whatever you want to call them. I mean, he put the detail this man puts in those thumbnails. Every time you look at it, you see something new. But he wants to know: can you ask Publicly Buzzed how wide of range / variety of interviews they plan on doing in the coming months?
That's a good question. I have no plans whatsoever. Everything just falls into place. Yeah, I don't have any plans past tomorrow, actually, with the investigators. But yeah, I do enjoy doing a lot of interviews. And I think I said at one point, we're probably going to, I'm not going to stop doing interviews. I still want to do interviews, but I do want to kind of like lead a little bit more into, last Thursday stream, we went hardcore on comedy and like really kind of watching some body cam footage and like doing a lot of jokes with it. So I'm thinking about maybe going down that avenue with some stuff. But we're definitely always going to have some guests on, man. Hell, we've had some crazy guests on. I can't even believe what's happened. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I have no actual plans. I would love to actually, you know what? Wait, real quick. I'm trying to get in touch. If anybody out there can help me, I'm trying to get in touch with a hypnotist. Okay. I want to interview a hypnotist and see if they can do anything live on a stream. And Dan doesn't believe. Shannon, do you guys believe in hypnotizing people?
I believe that some people are susceptible to be hypnotized.
That's what I believe.
I believe that some people couldn't be. And if Dan is very skeptical, then I don't think he could be.
I agree. Yeah.
Dan seems upset by this whole entire.
Dan can't. He doesn't think it's real.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
You're wrong.
What do you think, James?
I think people can be hypnotized. Yeah. I think Dan can get hypnotized, quite frankly.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't think it's
I don't
possible.
know.
I think people who do get hypnotized fake it.
Can you do it via, like, do you have to be with the person in order to get, like...
That's what I'm probably thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to be, like, there. Like, can you do it?
So there's a little bit of something that happens around my area, and maybe you guys have heard about this. There are hypnotists that come here in this area, or not hypnotists, whatever, however you say it. There's a guy that comes that tries to hypnotize people to get them to quit smoking. Okay, have you guys heard about this? So Dan's a smoker. All right, we're gonna fucking go. When I hear this happening, we're gonna go, and I'm gonna document it, and see what the hell happens. Because I mean, I'd like to try to talk to somebody to see if I can truly get in there and document it and like talk to this guy. But I don't know if they're gonna be cool with that. But
does he hypnotize an entire group, or does he do like individual people?
That I don't know.
Is
that something you hear on the radio?
Go ahead. Is what?
Is that something you guys have ever heard about though? Like
hypnotism for not smoking? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude. Like, and there's people that say it works. Dan's gonna be fighting.
I guess if you, like Shannon said, if you like are gonna believe it's gonna work, it's probably more likely gonna work than if you're Dan, who was like, "Fuck this guy who's about to tell me I can't smoke." He ain't gonna tell me. He's gonna show me what to do.
Butt ass naked on the stage, like clapping, That's the kind of party I want to go to. So I want to find any hypnotist out there. Please.
Yeah. Go ahead, baby. I feel like you have something to say.
I do. I was going to say, and this actually kind of leads into this because this is a difference of opinion that you two have. And I know that you two know each other so well. It's pretty much like you don't have to speak to know what each other is thinking. When you have guests on and it starts to go sideways, what's the plan?
Yeah.
Because it has gone sideways before, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
I just keep making jokes and rolling, baby.
Yeah. like when it has happened, I've kind of just like I make faces at the camera because Stevie will like keep interviewing, and I just kind of make faces, and I'll chat and chat as well. But, I don't like talk shit to somebody or
Right,
like,
right.
Keanu, everyone's putting Keanu Reeves, and that was quite a controversial moment that
Yeah.
Dan had where he had
Nothing
to leave
has
the
ever
screen.
split us like Keanu Reeves and oatmeal raisin between all of us in here.
Well, I think
controversial
I think
topics.
Dan is the only one against Keanu, to be quite honest. Although
Some people in chat have supported me, and on Twitter.
One person in chat.
I think
At my
there's dozens of us.
Growing up, when I was had my room at my dad's, I bought one
my
of
God, my
those
cheeks hurt.
movie-sized theater posters of Keanu from Speed. So his head was like giant in my room. So I can't co-sign with you. I'm sorry, Dan.
No, I understand. I love Keanu Reeves. I love the guy. I just, like I've said, I don't think he's very good at his job.
so you didn't. So curious, you didn't like The Matrix, Dan?
Yeah, I like The Matrix.
He likes it.
Matrix 1.
What about Point Break?
Make it make sense.
I don't really remember Point Break.
Oh my!
I probably like fell asleep during it or something.
Point Break, sir.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
what it's about? Who's in it?
Bank robbery? Maybe?
Yeah,
Or like
man.
Yeah.
The president's
Speed.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot about it.
Speed's close.
Bill and
Don't really
Ted's.
remember
What about Bill and
Speed
Ted's?
either.
Bill
No,
and
I
Ted.
really liked Bill and Ted when I was younger. But that's got to be like the biggest range he's ever like done is Bill, right? Like that's the most non-Keanu character he's ever done.
John Wick's pretty deep.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like he's kind of stale to me.
So is this how you are in real life too? Like when there's a conflict in your family, Steve keeps making jokes and Dan, you silently make faces at everyone, like at the dinner table or whatever. Is that kind of how it is?
That's a good question.
I really never stop making jokes, even in really inappropriate situations.
But yeah, I think that is kind of how it works out. Because Stevie's always the one like cracking the jokes, so he breaks the tension.
Wow, it's already 7:50. Holy shit.
Oh.
Well, why don't you talk about what's going on? Tonight and Friday. What do you got going on?
Yeah, tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, we're going to be covering the new stuff on the Long Island serial killer, man. Like, I know everybody's kind of been covering it, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of that stuff. The Surviving the Survivor episode yesterday was freaking amazing. Yeah, I'm going to be covering that tonight. I've got a lot of notes. Me and Dan are both going to be on there tonight going over that, so please come hang out. And then, tomorrow we're having the Investigators on Feral Friday, dude, which is fucking dope as shit. Super excited about that. And oh my god, yeah, I've got to plug Saturday night. If you guys are not following on Kick, please follow on Kick. Saturday night we are doing a movie marathon all night long. There's no way that I'm not falling asleep live on the internet, just drooling possibly. Who knows what might happen live. But from 10 p.m. Eastern time to 7 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. Murder Church is going to be canceled this week. It's very rare. I hate to do that to the congregation, but it's important this week. I love Halloween. I love horror movies. I love horror movie marathons. Me and my buddy, who were literally he's got kids now. We're trying to actively do it right now in real time. Put together a horror movie marathon that we haven't missed in probably a decade. So I'm bringing that for Kick, baby. I'm going to take advantage of the copyright rules that they're currently not doing anything about, which is amazing. And we're going to watch some movies. So please come hang out. And if you're not following Kick, please do so. It's going to be awesome.
Karen wants to know how many siblings you guys have.
Just one other.
One other, okay.
Yeah,
and by the way, if you guys don't know who the Investigators are, that's the podcast we were on. Todd McComas, who's a comedian in addition to being a former detective, and their podcast is amazing. Jessica Knoll, she was on Women Who Rock. They are going to be so much fun on Feral Friday. I already know.
Todd just interviewed Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did he?
Wow. Yeah.
So I mean, dude, what the fuck? Like, Ken Shamrock's amazing.
He was on, the Pat McAfee show. He was on Barstool. Like, he has been on a lot of stuff. He's so funny. He came on when we were quarreling, and he had the fucking
That-
the bullhorn. I mean,
Dude.
you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. And Jessica is amazing too.
Dude, she's awesome too. She's funny too, man.
Yeah, she's funny, and just they're both like again, kind of the theme we have on people that are just kind of good people that are down to earth. They don't take themselves too seriously. Like they're gonna love Feral Fry. You guys are gonna have a ball with them. I can tell you right now.
Yeah,
actually,
that's 10:30 p.m. Eastern time for that tomorrow, guys. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. Yeah, and again, that goes back to like I don't understand what the hell's happening. It's amazing, like all of these connections. You guys just everything's so awesome, man. Like everyone in chat, like the community that is growing in real time, and every single day, you're like, what is? Well, I know I'm asking myself, what is real? Like what is this reality? Like, so like, yeah, man, it's crazy.
I mean, it just kind of goes to show you, like you were talking to your fiance about DMing me, and like you never know, folks. Like if you want to do something, just reach out. And like I've sent so many emails recently that have just got no response, but that's okay. Like you're gonna like the folks who want to come on with you or want to like work with you, they're gonna respond to you, and that's who you want to. You know what I mean? So like you just never know, and like you could end up building like a community like we're building right here. And just because like Steve DM'd me, and then like we started working together, and then we got Bob in, and we got Joe in, and we got folks like Chris and Raul, and just we keep building our network, and like I don't know, I just think it's awesome.
It's awesome, dude. And yeah, dude, everybody's just, and again, meeting folks. I mean, because I feel like a lot of these social media sites, including YouTube, like they really try to suppress folks. But that I know so many people because of Twitter, dude. Like, and I tell people all the time, like, I had somebody come and work on my furnace yesterday, and he does TikToks and stuff. And I was like, man, you really want to try to network and get out there? Get on Twitter. And his reaction was, oh man, I hate Twitter. And I was like, I bet it's because of politics. I was like, you don't have to worry about that, man. If you find your community, if you find a community, whatever you like. His thing was like horror movies and cars. I was like, dude, why would you be talking about politics in a you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. So like you're not going to go on there for that reason. And for whatever reason, it's natural, dude. The algorithm on there feels more real. And I mean, it's the networking on there has been so fucking amazing, dude. Like,
well, I mean,
that's my suggestion to everybody, dude. It really is.
To your point, I have 61,000 followers on TikTok. Not one of them, maybe the people who came from this community. Like if I post a picture, like a video of me, no, it's me. Because normally I'm posting like, court videos and stuff like that. But like there is pretty much zero, like you're not connecting with someone on TikTok. Like I post the videos of me, like, or me and Shannon, or you guys, like you probably do the same thing, Steve. When we do interviews, I post them on TikTok. Nothing. No, like there's no interaction. You can like the algorithm is such that like it's going to promote like a viral video, but it's not to like connect like Twitter. And I agree. Twitter, I mean,
it's weird.
Me and Shannon met on Twitter. So like, I mean,
yeah, dude, it's crazy. And I do get that political side of it, but like, yeah, you have to go in with like, because if you go in with that mindset, you're probably going to get pulled into that shit, right?
Right.
You need to just go in with like, I mean, I'm in the true crime community on Twitter. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't know, man. It's not. But I will also say this: anybody out there that's like really getting into this, dude, like always think about the person underneath, right? Like, because like, how many times have you seen people that like kind of break away and then they forget about the other person, dude? I've vowed that I will never do that, dude. If you're legit and you're putting real time in, I will always try to help. And I disagree with people all the time. Me and Dan have fights on live all the time. Like. It's not about really disagreeing. Like it's just about putting in actual work. And if you're putting in real work and it shows, because that's who's fucking climbing up the ladder, right? Like, but then people get left behind. So man, I will always say promote the little guy if you see him doing the work, man. Like,
absolutely, couldn't agree more. And just promote the people around you, and like build like you doing better is us doing better. Like. Bob doing better is us doing like just
100%.
That's just how it is. Like I completely agree with that. And again, folks, look out. We're gonna be hopefully doing something special, announcing it soon. It's gonna be pretty cool. I can't believe it's been an hour already. Babe,
yeah, dude.
Any by the way, the portal should be. I mean, YouTube is a fucking dumpster fire appears today, but the portal should be taken. It's tonight is 10 or 10:30.
10 tonight, yeah.
10.
Yeah,
so the portal should be when we end this. The portal should be taking you there, but babe, any final thoughts?
I was just going to say that when I was writing the bio for you guys, when I was doing the thumbnail, I just thought I try to come up with like people's essence when I'm doing those things, not to get super deep or anything, but I try to just come up with that. And what really sticks out to me about you guys is that you're so genuine and you're so humble. You're never trying, you're always promoting us. You always promote us. You always promote Bob. You guys are the first people that have our back. And I mean, we can't thank you enough for being in our lives, but also like we are so inspired by the things that you create, like Murder Church and Feral Friday is just so freaking fun. Like no other channel has something like that. And I just want you to be proud of yourselves because you absolutely deserve to be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing, Shannon. I love you
That
guys.
was amazing.
Seriously.
We love
That
you
was
guys.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yo,
thank you
I'm
guys.
gonna
You
cry
guys
on
always
Jay's
promote us
stream.
too.
I need to come.
Yep.
Go ahead, Dan. What were you saying?
You guys promote us all the time too. So I mean, yeah, we're so thankful for you guys and the entire community that we built here. It's
100%,
truly
dude.
amazing.
Yeah, seriously, guys, everyone in the chat, we can't. I mean, we say it all the time, and our mod, we pretty much have the same, almost the same. All the mods that are we like can't thank you guys enough for all the work you do for us, and this community is just amazing. So we can't thank you guys enough. Make sure you're subscribed to Publicly Buzzed. Don't be an asshole. So make sure we put this in here. Boys, any final words for my beautiful boys? What do you guys got? Dan, you go first.
I guess I kind of just said it. Thanks everybody for and you guys especially for what you do, and the community for everything you guys do and supporting us. And I don't know, man, we wouldn't be here without the community, and you guys are amazing.
Steve-O.
100%. Love you guys, man. Yeah, come hang out tonight. I will see everybody tomorrow morning. And yeah, dude, this has been amazing. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Shannon. You guys are the fucking best.
And these guys, again, creators who crush. I hope we got across that these guys crush the game. We love what they're doing. We hope you guys are subscribed to them. We're building something here, folks, and we're all pretty proud of it. And we love you guys. So, and I don't have to welcome you to J-Bo Nation because you guys are already, you're in. You've been in there for a while. I don't have to welcome you guys, but J-Bo Nation, J-Buzz Nation, we love you guys. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining us, J-Bo Nation. Please give all of yourselves an ovation. No, it won't be real long until next time. Oh, J-Bo Nation, there's no place we'd rather be. J-Bo Nation is the place to 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 be.